gets in on the message. So I'm going to go to someone who understands it fundamentally, and that would be Sarah Palin. Governor Palin was asked about the winning victory for Government Thad Cochran, a man who was promising more pork. We all like bacon, but this is government pork. So here's what she had to say. Now understand, I've spliced these together. It does not change the meaning of the comment, the substance of the comment. It's what I do. It's editing. Actually, it's what Jeremy does. He's on my team. I'm a member of his team. We're partners in team. Cedra, Hannah, okay? So you understand who puts this together. And Gray Durham's nothing but truth. So we put this all together, and here are the governor's reflections last night on a little show called Hannity. Roll it.
Well, as for the primary, and perhaps, if it's true, some shenanigans going on there, nothing should surprise you, but that's that old school politics where it's a bit of the status quo and that's got to go. It's very rare in a Republican primary that the candidate who promises to bring home the bacon, promising bigger government, which is requiring higher taxes and more burdensome government, actually pulls it off in the primary. That's a rare thing, so it'll be surprising, and yet perhaps not, to find out with that crossover of Democrat voters how that does impact the general.
That if the Republican Party doesn't get their act together, you would consider moving third party. Explain.
Well, if Republicans are going to act like Democrats, then what's the use in getting all gung-ho about getting more Republicans in there? We need people who understand the beauty of, the value of allowing the free market to thrive. Otherwise, our country is going to continue to be overregulated, driving industry away, driving jobs away. We're going to be a bankrupt, fundamentally transformed country unless those who know what they're doing and aren't going along just to get along with those in power, and being today the Democrats, that does no good. So yeah, if Republicans aren't going to stand strong on the planks in our platform, then it does no good to get all enthused about them anymore.
So she was actually making a point that Crane Durham made. Are you referring to yourself in the third person? Yeah, I made this point a while back, and it's not one necessarily that would be Captain Obvious, but it would be one that when you hear, you say, yeah, that makes sense, of course. If we're winning for winning's sake, we as conservatives, but we sell out our platform, our principles, then we've got a problem. Right? And that's what she's referring to, because then you get socialism and socialism light. However, and as Frank Opinion, who is one of my mentors, he would say, however, and there's always a however in life, not necessarily, was the idea of what we have right here and now, your vote, your business. But I got to tell you that then elections are about choices, and there is, I believe, a much better choice in most elections, and that will reflect your values. So it's not about getting the whole Megillah. It's about getting what you can. I think Gary Bauer made that point at the top of the hour. He's a brilliant guy, by the way. So that's the issue. But when there's an election and MSNBC is covering it, and there's even a chance of injecting racism, especially in light of the Southernism that exists with the mainstream media, that is the portrayal of Southerners as racist and stupid, which, quite frankly, is absurd and typical. It's even, I don't know if you want to call it ironic, the fact that Torre would be smearing the South once again, in the sense of liberals smearing the South. Generally speaking, Howard Fineman comes into this one too. And I say ironic because liberals see everything as race. Their whole idea is about race. See, I don't like the people that burn small t's on people's lawns. I think they're morons. I think they're idiots. I think they really, IQ below room temperature. I don't understand. I think they have got serious problems. I think they need a hug. And I pray for them. Quite frankly, I do. I've seen the reform of racism because, I mean, it's asinine to be even associated or license some kind of idea with that type of hate group. They're up there. No, understand Westboro Baptist Church doesn't have the blood on its hands that the KKK does, but they're up there in the idiot class of the all-star idiot team. And then you got the Black Panthers. Yeah, they wear their berets, and they can have all fashion show and do all that stuff at the haters fashion show. Haters, you know, they can do that. My only point to bringing this up is when people bring up race all the ripping time, Catherine's told me to stop using that. I will. That's the last time I'm going to use that this year. All the time, I suggest that they are consumed by race, and what they are trying to do is divide as opposed to unite, being equal under the law, and understanding that while there was a time in this country that we can look to and say America has made a great deal of progress when it comes to understanding that, hey, those ideas are ridiculous because there's no difference between a black man and a white man. Not going to spend your life being a color. There are those who will reach back to the legacy, the great legacy elements of the civil rights movement, which say, hey, judged on the content of your character, not the color of your skin. And you can't go back in time and penalize people with a color bar. It's just ridiculous. So here's the clip from last night regarding the Mississippi election primary, Thad Cochran and McDaniel. Roll it.
The whole situation, as Crystal noted, as John noted, it just strikes me as fairly ugly and strange. On the one side, we have Cochran sort of appealing to black voters who he hasn't really been reaching out to before now that he is fighting for his electoral life. Now he's reaching out to them. And we have this army of volunteer poll watchers coming out to attend these black polling sites and make sure that the vote is legitimate, quote unquote. I mean, this is taking me back to the 60s and times when things were not at all like they're supposed to be these days.
Well, it's kind of ironic, Gary, because the Republicans don't want to reinstitute the portion of the Voting Rights Act that gave the federal government power to look at voting practices like this. So we have an additional irony here in that the Thad Cochran side wants observers in there, wants to make sure that the law is followed and that people aren't intimidated. That's piling irony on irony here as he desperately tries to win another term.
So liberals pointing out potential racism without context that poll watchers from both parties have, as newsbusters.org points out, been doing this. Oh, and by the way, these are people who believe that making somebody show an ID, which they can get funding for if they can't afford it, to vote is somehow racism. So I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid you got to drink to buy that bunny stew. But there's something a little wrong with it. Because once again, it's about dividing and smearing and conquering. Oh, and Thad Cochran, did you hear about this? The National Review Online was posting this, and I picked it up on the Gateway Pundit, but did you see the flyer? Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. I mean, come on. I am so tired. I'm just done with the subject of race. Now, if there's actual racism, whether it's one way or another, hey, I'll be the first one to call it out and expose. But when it's demagoguery and division and cheap political ploys, I have no time for that.